It's always worth going back to Shakespeare.
Even sayings and phrases in English turn out to go back to Shakespeare, things that we take for granted. When we've been choosing the quotes, there's always kind of been a balance or a tension between the ones that everybody already recognizes and the more obscure ones that are just amazing, but they haven't fallen into.
Monster, I do smell all horse piss, at which my nose is in great indignation. You know, that's Shakespeare. You know?
Right, yeah. This is our fourth collaboration with calligraphy and handmade paper and marbling.
Fifth.
We've done several of these before.
We did Romeo and Juliet the first year. The next year was Love's Labor's Lost, and then The Tempest. And so those were the three we did in Colorado Springs. And that was 1984. Yeah. And so we've been friends ever since, yeah.
So what we do is select the quotes. We send each other quotes that we like, and we winnow them down. And then Tom marbles makes the paper, and then marbles it to evoke the sense of the quotation. And then the papers come to me, and I letter to go with both his marbling and also with the sense of the quotation.
Yeah, historically, well, marbling is a very old art form, and it was practiced in conjunction with calligraphy. So there is a tradition of that.
So it's used a lot in end papers of fine.
Yeah, that's where people mostly encounter marbling, is the end papers of old books, or more recently on Kleenex boxes, you know.
The previous ones we had all done connected with a specific play, but the most recent one we chose quotations from various different plays. And we found, as we were choosing them, without having consciously set out to do this, that many of them seemed very timely for present circumstances. And so there was also this interaction not only with all the things we've already talked about, but also what's going on all around us. So that's bringing this historical stuff right into the present.
All of the quotes were selected about the turn of the year. So Christmas, New Year, right around then. That's when our emails were flying back and forth. And we had no idea what was coming down the pike at us in the world, you know? So for instance, the piece Something Wicked This Way Come, we had the quote, and all of a sudden you're hearing about this virus that's approaching us from somewhere out there. And when I saw the first microscopic images of coronavirus, I went, man, I can marble that. Well, something just occurred to me that Dorothy Stewart, who lived here, did a book on Hamlet. She printed her own Hamlet where she carved 70 or 80 linoleum blocks, you know, printed in all different kinds of colors. A very creative way of doing it. And so this just feels perfect to be here.
Yeah, and this is an historic building that is being used to house present-day art. So it's kind of what we do, you know. Perhaps in some of the language is less immediately accessible to modern listeners, but when you pull out these little bits and maybe try to evoke the sense of it, the hope is that it can come alive for the viewers who are less familiar with Shakespeare. One of the wonderful things about the collaboration is how some of them are edgy and out there, and some of them, both the marbling and the calligraphy, are fairly traditional, and but in both cases, we hope that they kind of frame the words, the quote, and sort of become a partner in a sense of, you know, we're collaborating with Shakespeare too.
Well, exactly. We're really trying to bring the words out and present them as best we can.